welcome to the Dragonite Solo Run on the RetroBrown channel. This is a massive fan favourite, it's used a lot in VGC, but is it any good in a solo run setting? Well, that's what we're going to find out today. Considering we've already done the Dragonite and Dratini run, we already know that they aren't the best of Pokemon in Gen 1. Our rival for today is going to be Taran. Thank you for subscribing, welcome to the channel, and thanks for all the comments you've had recently on the channel. So, Dragonite is unique out of this line. It's the only dragon flying in this generation, which means it has a 4 times weakness to ice. And that's not great considering one of the major, toughest trainers in the entire region is an ice type trainer. But with that 4 times weakness, it does get a massive base stat total of 600, one of the largest in this generation by far. Most of that is put into its attack at 134, which is absolutely obscene. It's got 100 special and everything else around about that 80 to 90 mark, which is pretty damn good. It looks like it's a good all-rounder. It's a diabetes dragon, but yeah. Moveset wise, we're lacking. Level up moveset wise, we do get the incredible move Wrap, which will help us out massively, but it means we're going to have very elongated fights. We do get Thunder Wave, which is a great move to have, but probably will lose its usefulness when we get the likes of Thunderbolt or Body Slam. Agility, pointless because we don't use badge boosting moves or any stat boosting moves in these runs, just because the badge boost glitch is a thing, so we won't be using that, but we can use stats that can lower the opponent's stats itself. So like Leah is a fine move to use, but you can just see from these initial fights with bug catchers already, the Wrap is just doing very pitiful damage regardless of our massive 130 base stat. So it means that when we're going to come to Brock, we will need to level up before we even get there. And it's worth going against all the optional trains that we can do, minus the optional rival fight to the west of Viridian. But it just definitely means that we need these levels, because if we're not even like doing a 2-shot on a Weedle or a Caterpie, we're going to do even less when it comes to Brock. So, by the time we've got to Brock, we will still have this moveset. We'll be around about level 8, 9, 10, around about that level. Is that going to be enough to beat Brock? Well, we'll soon find out. TM moveset wise, as soon as we get past Vermilion City, we'll be flying with movesets. Like, we will get Bubble Beam and Water Gun very shortly, but the addition of Thunderbolt will just give us extra coverage that will get us through this run. The Light Years trainer, not too much of a problem whatsoever. The thing with Wrap in this generation, it is a broken move, really. And we'll soon find out, and I'll explain that in this fight. So Wrap in itself, in later generations, the opponent Pokemon can still attack after you've used Wrap, and it'll just do chip damage every turn until the Wrap ceases. But in Generation 1, if you use Wrap, they are locked in and they cannot move until you miss a Wrap, basically. And this is very key to beating Brock, because it means that we're not taking any damage. We're hitting quite high rolls on the Wrap count. And when it comes to the Onix as well, we need to make sure we leer it into the ground to lower its defenses. Otherwise, we've only got 9 uses of Wrap left here. We needed all of these to make this doable. And to be fair, we're even down at 1 HP here. But because we outspeed as well, it means we can continue the Wrap spam and get through this without on our first try, really. So yeah, we can beat Brock at quite low level using the Wrap strategies, but that fight took a long time, and that's time we'll have to recuperate. In Mount Moon, we pick up 2 moves, Water Gun, and we try and pick up Mega Punch, but for some reason, even though this dragon can throw hands, it doesn't have Mega Punch as a learnable TM. So we're stuck with Water Gun, and we've got Wrap to work with. Water Gun does take advantage of its 100 base special, and well, it won't be too useful in the next gym fight coming up, but it's still useful to take out Grunts and Super Nerds of the like. Bringing ourselves into Cerulean, this is where the next challenge starts, and all we can hope for is that we can outspeed, and Thunder Wave will help with that because it cuts speed by 3/4, I'm pretty sure that's right in Gen 1, and as soon as we've got them paralysed, we can wrap them and just elongate the fight till we win. We'll soon find out and see how we do against Misty though. Misty, of course, because we do resist water, she is mostly going to use Tackle. That's if she ever even gets a hit in. Once we've paralysed the Staryu, it works in our favour and we get through to the Starmie without losing any HP. She goes for extra vend first, which means that we can actually get a Thunder Wave off, and then we start using Leah to lower their defenses. From there, Wrap is just doing good damage now. Not great, but still good damage. And even at level 16 going into 17, we can still beat Misty on our first try. That brings us to the rival on Nugget Bridge. And as long as we don't get sand attacked here by the Pidgeotto, we should be fine. But this is the reason why I went against Misty first. Because Bubble Beam being a 65 power move, it's just going to sweep through Tarin's team here. The final Squirtle won't do too much. At this point in the game, it doesn't have an ice type move, so it's an easy fight until we get to that very final rival fight at the Pokemon League. That's the whole reason why we've chosen Squirtle as the rival's Pokemon. That final Blastoise does get Blizzard, so it will be 4 times effective. When we get hit by it, that's a one-shot pretty much on us. We go and pick up Dig from the Team Rocket Grunt here, and then we progress on to Vermilion City. Now, Vermilion City is where this run starts getting some momentum. We can start increasing our speed here, and that's all down to the fact we get the move Body Slam. Yes, we can't learn how to punch things, but we can Body Slam them. Pokemon logic for you. But with Body Slam and our moveset, taking advantage of our whopping 134 base attack, yeah, there is nothing that can really stand up to a Dragonite at this point in the game with Body Slam. It's a walking death machine, this thing. It's a tank, it's a walking death machine. And that's something that Lieutenant Surge is going to find out incredibly quickly here. Now, it takes us a while to find the switches. We mess up on this time round, and there we go. We fight Lieutenant Surge. Surge is not going to be a problem for us whatsoever. We resist all of his moves with the Dragon typing. But we also outspeed, meaning Body Slams just terrorise him. And we take him down, no problem whatsoever. We pick up the TM for Thunderbolt and progress on to Rock Tunnel. Now, Rock Tunnel has a lot of mandatory fights that you need to go against. You've got the Rapping Lass here, you've got the Bug Catcher. Then when you go into Rock Tunnel, you've also got a Pokemaniac, a Picnicker, you've got the Exploding Hiker, and then you've got the final Picnicker right at the end. So there's quite a lot of mandatory fights you need to deal with here. You can take some optional fights here if you want more experience, but considering how much our damage output, Dragonite's not really going to need it. The Exploding Hiker as well, not going to be a problem because we still have Bubble Beam. It's a one-shot all the way through. And Bubbles beat rocks, apparently. Anyway, that brings us to Lavender Tower and, of course, the next rival fight coming up, which is going to be interesting because he does have at this point a Gyarados. No, he won't have a Gyarados because we started with him having a Squirtle. So, with him not having a Gyarados, what can we do here? So, we're going at this level 26, and Thunderbolt is a one-shot on the Pidgeotto. It's not a one-shot on the Growlithe. I really should have been using Bubble Beam there. So instead, he has Execute here at this stage. And that Execute gets us to sleep and stalls our run by just bombarding us with a barrage. Once we take it down, Kadabra goes down to a Body Slam, and Wartortle falls to a Thunderbolt. Pretty easy fight. It's just that Execute. Honestly, it was a little bit tough there. That brings us to Celadon, where of course we are going to pick up Ice Beam. Why would we not pick up Ice Beam? 95 base power, 100% accuracy, and it's super effective against the next gym. We'd be a fool not to actually pick it up here. So once we've beaten all the mandatory trainers in Erica's gym, we can give her a try. What's interesting about this is we've got to, already halfway through the game, we've not faced one super effective attack. The first Ice-type moves that you actually see are at the Pokemon League, or at least in mandatory fights. We take down Erica very, very quickly, but yeah, that's something that I realised the other day is you don't actually see an Ice-type move on mandatory fights in Gen 1 until you get to Lorelei. And I think that kind of just shows that, attacking-wise, offensively, Ice-type is ridiculously good. They had to lock it to that late in the game. Or at least on mandatory fights. I can't vouch for any optional fights you can go against. Once we've beaten Giovanni, we've beaten Erica, we beat Lavender Tower as well. The game has massively opened up and we are sailing. We have recuperated so much time throughout this run, where we lost so much in the early game against Brock and Misty because we did not have the moveset to make it work. Beating Lavender Tower, we are going to go straight to Saffron and take on Silphcore because, to be fair, This will be the quickest route to recuperate even more time on our run. We're going to miss out going to floor 10 because we can't learn Earthquake, and we're going to go straight to floor 5, beat the one mandatory rocket here before we go against the rival. And the rival, this is one of the tougher ones in the game, so we'll soon find out whether a Dragonite can actually match up to it around about the same level. I think we are quite underleveled at this point anyway. But yeah, let's see how Taran does here against us. So we are level 33 going into this fight, and Ice Beam is a one-shot. We got rid of Bubble Beam, we've got Ice Beam, Body Slam, Thunder Wave, and Thunderbolt. And we're just sweeping the team completely. Completely swept that team, only taking half damage, and we are massively underleveled for that fight. This is how good Dragonite actually is, and yes, I am definitely aiming to make this an SS tier Pokemon. One thing I found annoying about Gen 1 and Dragonite when I was playing it when I was younger is the fact that it has such a high evolution level. By the time you get to the league, you may only just be evolving into Dragonite at that point. And Dragonite, it's a really not good Pokemon. Neither is Dratini, and they're all slow level up Pokemon as well, which is why we are so underleveled right now. Even with mandatory fights, our slow growth rate is just, it makes a massive, like, you can see the disparity there. Beating Giovanni and our rival though, we progress on, we've beaten Silphcore, and we are going to just destroy the Saffron Gym now. With our 80 base speed, even underleveled, we can outspeed her entire team. Although Body Slam is not one-shot in most things, it's not the end of the world here. Even with Alakazam setting up a Reflect, which will increase its defenses, one crit Body Slam gets us the win, and that's one of the easiest gym fights we've had. Next up though, we actually get a bit of a dicey fight. You'll soon find out what I mean here though, but Koga, sometimes he can be an easy fight, sometimes he can be a very mixed fight. Reason why it can be a mixed fight is if he decides he just wants to be trolly and self-destruct on you. If we tank enough hits, we might have enough to deal with because we do have a very good defense stat. But we'll soon find out how that goes. First we need to take out the mandatory Psychic Trainers in the Poison Gym, because that makes sense. And we'll see how we do against Koga. Now I really wish we could learn a Psychic type move here that actually did some damage, but we can't. Do you know what I've also just realised? Lance's Dragonite knows the move Barrier, but look at that moveset on the right hand side. Dragonite can't learn Barrier. So where is he getting this illegal move from? Like, Lance is absolute... He's a con artist, him. He's got underleveled Pokemon. He's not a full Dragon type trainer. He's a flying type trainer. And he's using illegal moves. Where the hell did he get Barrier from? That's actually astounding me, I've just realised. We beat Koga, tanking a self-destruct on the last second, and progress down to Cinnabar, where we can go and pick up the secret key through the Pokemon Mansion. If you follow the route that I am taking right now, you can pick up Blizzard, which will be an amazing addition to our moveset. But you can also get through the entirety of Pokemon Mansion without taking any optional fights. Everything in Pokemon Mansion is optional. You do not need to fight anybody, and you can get to the secret key pretty quickly. That brings us to Blaine's Gym, where we get all questions right. And to be fair, after nearly 140 videos in Kanto, you'd have expected me to get them all right every time. Blaine, again, we don't have anything super effective to deal with him because we got rid of Bubble Beam. But we could have taught Surf actually, but I don't really want to lock myself into using the HM move here. But he's not really going to be too much of a problem to us. Ice Beam is neutral to fire in this generation, and we take him down pretty comfortably. We don't even take a bit of damage. Dragonite is just sailing through this really, really quickly. And that brings us to the very last gym, with that being Viridian Gym. I wonder who's going to be there waiting for us? Well, of course it's going to be Giovanni, the Rocket Team leader. I love this little twist back in the day. Earth Badge is on the line and we want it, and we are going to take it by force. We Ice Beam, and we Ice Beam some more. It's interesting the Nidos can actually tank an Ice Beam from Dragonite, but again, look at our level. This is probably one of the lowest levels I've been to try and beat Giovanni, at level 42. I think only Mewtwo and such were like around about that level when we were going against him. Maybe even Starmie. Starmie finished on a very low level, the same level as Mewtwo. That brings us to the next rival fight before the league, and the end is in sight. Starts off with his Pidgeot, and Ice Beam is not a one-shot anymore. It is a one-shot on the Rhyhorn though, and Growlithe here goes down to a crit Body Slam. Ice Beam takes out the Execute, and then this is where we start seeing the problems in Alakazam. We're down at 36 HP here, and that Blastoise got us very, very close to a loss here. We take... Our greatest rival, the Ledge, reappears. I always fall off this ledge sometimes. And that means we can progress on to the Pokemon League. And this next fight really scares me as a Dragonite. Lorelei, the Ice-type trainer, is going to be hitting us hard with Aurora Beams, with Ice Beams, even Blizzards, and even an Ice Punch or two. So I'm quite scared for this fight. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it at a low level. So we went through this at the low level at 44, and we got nearly one-shot by Dugong, the very first Pokemon on our team. We can one-shot the Cloyster, the Slowbro barely does anything to us, and then Jinx can outspeed us, which is bad. So eventually, after a lot of tries, like this probably took us 7 or 8 tries, I went up to level 56, taught myself Thunder, and from here we had more to work with to actually even outspeed and try and take down the team. We get hit by a massive Ice Beam that puts us on 12 HP, and then we win, bringing us on to Bruno. And Bruno is going to be an absolute cakewalk again. Ice Beam on the Onix, Body Slam on the Hitmonchan, even though it doesn't take it out in one, so I'm quite surprised at that. But yeah, I'm annoyed that we're at level 44. We managed to get to the league at level 44, and then we had to go up to level 56 to make Lorelei consistently possible. It's annoying, and hopefully we can keep some momentum here. Beating Bruno is an easy feat, pretty much for most Pokemon. But Agatha is always a bit of a mixed bag. We barely do much damage with Ice Beams here. Thunder is not very accurate, so I'm quite averse to using it. We do use it against the Golbax, it's super effective, but the Haunter comes out and takes us down with a Nightshade. So not the greatest scenario. But I remembered I had Thunder Wave. So with paralysing them, it means we can outspeed. Thunder can do big damage out, and it's going to try and be a Thunder Sweep. We need to at least keep over 60 HP for that final Gengar. But annoyingly, we get put down to 54. We've run out of PP for Thunder, we paralyse it, and then we're hoping that Ice Beam connects and they do not go for Nightshade. They seem to want to try and spam the Super Potions and the Confuse Ray, and with just pure luck alone, we managed to beat Agatha. That brings us to the biggest phony in all of Kanto, Lance, the Flying type trainer. We start off with a Thunder against Dragonite. We Ice Beam his Dragonaires. With Dragonite? Gyarados, sorry. Brings us into Aerodactyl, who does outspeed, but Ice Beam takes it down. And then it's Dragonite v Dragonite, and we built a better dragon by having Ice Beam in our moveset. Bye-bye, Lance. And finally, that brings us to Taran, our champion. Ice Beam does not one-shot Pidgeot. Body Slam, after a Reflect, does not one-shot Alakazam, but we do get a Clutch Paralysis, which then gets cured by a Full Restore. I hate that they can still use items. Rhydon goes down, Arcanine falls pretty quickly afterwards, and that brings in Executor. We go for Ice Beam, and then he goes for Barrage. We are losing HP pretty quickly, and we've got the final Pokemon left to deal with, and that of course is going to be Blastoise. We learn Hyper Beam at level 60. We don't hit the Thunder, and Skull Bash puts us on 2 HP, but it's too little too late. Blastoise gets the win without even using an Ice type move. But this is possible. We managed to get all the way to that Blastoise with just us at this level. It's going to come down to RNG. This time round, the Alakazam doesn't get a Psychic off. We take down the Rhydon pretty quickly. Arcanine gets paralysed and then Full Restores, wasting that. And then from there, we Ice Beam trying to get a Lucky Freeze. Ice Beam does big damage on Executor, and we're on 128 HP going into that Blastoise. 133 now we're leveled up. Thunder connects first time, and you know what, for the hell of it, Hyper Beam for the win. Dragonite has completed Pokemon Blue on its own, and let's see what time we finished on. Is it SS tier? Level 60 does still put it in that tier. 2 hours 58 minutes. Yes, it does become an SS tier Pokemon, but a low tier in SS tier Pokemon. Still, I'm impressed. Dragonite is a powerful Pokemon. It's very good reason why it's very popular. But now that run is done, we need to see what we've got left to work with. First choice on the reel is going to be Marowak. I do love the Cubone line. I don't know if I'm ready for Marowak run yet. Second is Hypno. The Drowsy run was incredible, so Hypno must be another SS tier Pokemon. And last up is... oh, Hypno again. I guess we're going with Hypno then. The wheel's spoken, we will go with Hypno. And then Lapras was last. Oh well. If you got to this point in the video, please like and subscribe, you legends, for more solo runs. And then check out some of my other videos. See you next week.